Welcome to the Tesla Economist. Please hit the thumbs up and remember to subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon. I know a lot of you try to be pragmatic realists, which, no offense, might not be the best mindset for investing in a company like Tesla. Tesla is the kind of company you can hope will perform miracles. They've demonstrated absolutely incredible engineering feats the competition can't even catch up to 10 years later. That's how far ahead Tesla is and was. That's how much better their technology was and is. Yeah, 10 years ago, the Model S was launched, and still to this date, the competition struggled to match the range of this vehicle relative to weight and battery size. That's quite the lead. Or it was, but they're starting to catch up now. Well, catch up might be a bit extreme. No one's coming close to Tesla on range efficiency. But BYD are starting to catch up on production. And I actually mean BEV units too, not just EVs in general. BYD made nearly 60,000 BEVs just in April. Yeah, Tesla won't even make twice as many BEVs as BYD this quarter, especially with the lockdowns. It'll be interesting to see all the headlines. BYD closes in on Tesla as leading EV manufacturer. Wow, compelling headline. It might scare you as a Tesla investor, or bolster your confidence as a BYD investor. Of course, once you take a look under the hood, you get to understand what's really happening here. But who has time for that? Tesla's technology, for lack of a better word, well, it's been standing still for the last 6 years. What? How could I say that? Well, of course, Tesla have been making great technical advances. Any YouTube video with a Model S Plaid will tell you that. But at the core of this industry, it's always been batteries. Now, a highly advanced powertrain, electric motor, and software to a company certainly helps get the energy to the wheels more efficiently. But fundamentally, it's always going to come down to the batteries. Now, Giga Nevada has been operational for that long, setting up the 2170 cell. The 2170 cell was a reasonable improvement on the 18650 cell, resulting in the launch of the affordable electric car, the Model 3. Now, the EV industry is going its best to move at the most rapid rates possible. A lot has happened since Giga Nevada. The EV industry is now flush with capital for investors drooling on an electric future. Since the 2170 cells have been in operation, they've improved over that time still. Improved chemistries, less cobalt usage. But this was just an evolution of an existing product, a niche product, or formerly niche. The electric car is now on its way to become the establishment. It's now mass market. The aggregate demand has grown exponentially and continuing to do so. The 2170 served its purpose, but like I said, we're onto the mass market now. Tesla knew in an early stage the 2170 was not going to meet the necessary requirements of transitioning the world to renewables. In fact, far from it. Something else needed to be done. I mean, the back of the napkin maths weren't that hard, and Tesla ended up not finishing 2/3 of the Giga Nevada fab as a result. It was the wrong direction, and Elon axed the expansion as soon as he realized. We don't know at what stage, but obviously Tesla went into R&D for a better cell type designed for EVs, factoring in safety, charging, longevity, and energy density, yet still using elements that are low cost and abundant enough to transition the entire world. Wow, sounded like quite a challenge. So much so that Tesla have pretty much put everything on ice. No major investments on battery production for the company. That's right. Tesla invested minimally on expanding their battery expansion since Giga Nevada. Sure, Tesla doubled their production by expanding in China, but all they're doing is consuming CATL cells there and getting some help from LG for 2170s. Yeah, when you think about it, Tesla haven't really been investing in battery or cell expansion for the last 6 years. Meanwhile, companies like BYD have already vertically integrated and are making their own cells. CATL has grown into the global juggernaut of battery supply. Even Ford, Mercedes, Volkswagen, GM, Stellantis each have plans to produce 5 times as many cells as Tesla's Giga Nevada, and in just a few years' time, Tesla's going to start falling seriously behind when all the others start catching up, especially at Tesla's current rate of growth compared to some of these others. Yeah, that really is a long time to have not updated your technology in such a fast-moving industry, but Tesla have not been sitting idly by waiting for everyone to overtake them. Tesla have spent all this time with the absolute best engineering talent and battery minds on the entire planet. Together, they've all been trying to research the best solution for a battery designed for EVs, for first principles thinking over the lifetime of the planet. Right, the lifetime of the planet, not the lifetime of the product. For example, all these Chinese EVs are probably awful for the planet. They have LFP cells that aren't recycled and end up in landfills. Elon did say he planned on recycling LFP, but I'm not sure about the Chinese. I think the issue is, if you recycle the cells, it's more expensive than to make them initially, hence why they're thrown away. Hopefully the Chinese government may do something about that, as it might end up being quite an issue. And who knows, perhaps Porsche was so desperate to match Tesla's acceleration times or charging speed that their batteries will degrade that much faster than in a Tesla. Tesla gets put on the pedestal. Tesla has to offer twice as much mileage from their vehicles than a typical ICE car, but no one's really watching Porsche. And they don't have EVs that are a decade old with about 500,000 miles on the clock. We don't know how well the other EV manufacturers' batteries will degrade yet. Tesla had to think of the long-term life of each molecule inside each cell. It will initially be designed to last the longest in the vehicle and then be able to be broken down to recycle the most that is possible. Something in the region of about 95% of it can be recycled, and that number will continue to rise. All of this was encompassed into the thought and design of Tesla's own in-house cell that will be designed optimally for a sustainable electric vehicle for the planet, compared to one that can be just made for lots of quick profit, which is what all the others are trying to do, as they think EVs are incredibly profitable. Except EVs are only profitable if they can actually make a profit, which still has yet to be seen. This cell also had to be designed in a way that it could be manufactured at great speed due to the fact that we may make 1 trillion of them. Oh, and also make these cells extremely safe in case of thermal runaway. And here we are today, where we have seen minimal expansion with Tesla's cell production from their partners. So much so, the likes of BYD have caught up to half the production of Tesla. Of course, Tesla's profits are literally infinitely higher for their EVs, but this is still getting a little close for comfort. I have no problem with there being competition, but I want Tesla to be about twice as far ahead as the second and third largest EV producer combined. We want a lead that is ridiculous, like Tesla used to have. And not meaning to sound too privileged, but we expect Tesla to be a lot further ahead in production than everyone else. And that's just it, isn't it? Tesla have limited their growth in the meantime due to their constraint with, you guessed it, battery supply. But Tesla can't increase their battery supply easily as they don't make any. And they don't want to expand Giga Nevada and start building more 2170 lines, as that technology is now out of date, and Tesla's new cells are so much better. Once this optimal cell was designed, well, that was the easy part. Next, the manufacturing process has to be designed and developed around it. With the previous cell production process, the wet slurry process was incredibly intensive, and Tesla were able to go with the dry battery electrode process, reducing a massive amount of the footprint required to produce cells. From there, Tesla has had a pilot line going for over 2 years to try and refine this manufacturing process, and testing whilst the real factory was being built in Texas. Think what you learn by refining a pilot line for that long with the best people at it in the world, working on arguably the most important product ever known to man. 2 years without even needing to sell a product you're making, just refining, testing, perfecting, improving. That seems like a really long time to me, and you would thus expect this product and production line to be absolutely mind-blowing, and I don't think it will disappoint. And now Tesla have built up their full 4680 production line in Texas, and the anticipation to see what it can produce continues to build. It will be the most indicative signs as to how much money we're all going to make in the next 2 years. The capacity that this line will end up producing, it will have a big reflection on how quickly and possible transition to renewables actually can be. It's tough having to wait, and we don't even know the full specifications of this cell yet, but 4680 specs and Texas gigawatt hour capacity are the two figures right now that will have the most effect on the stock price over the next couple of years. And it's pretty obvious, it's around 200 gigawatt hours. It will take a little while to ramp up to that, but we would hope we aren't far off that perhaps in 2024. That would, however, be further supplemented by another cell factory that Tesla have in Germany too, again rumoured at 200 to 250 gigawatt hours a year. And we expect Tesla may start a cell factory in Indonesia, probably sooner than later too. Judging by this, we hope that Tesla might be on a run rate of 400 gigawatt hours a year of in-house 4680 cells sometime in 2024. For the record, the total gigawatt hours deployed onto roads last year was about 286 gigawatt hours. Therefore, I think by about the time 2025 rolls over, Tesla alone should produce about twice as many cells as everyone else combined last year, from 0 gigawatt hours to the largest cell producer in the world in just over a couple of years. Wow, now that's quite a jump. But do you see now? Tesla delayed their expansion for years to get this special battery that when you hit play, it will just spit out so many cells so fast that it will catch up with everything else in no time. Of course, with the amount of nickel in Indonesia, we have no idea the number of 4680 cells they may actually want to produce there. Tesla's market share for cells could even go beyond 50%. CATL will likely stay the number 2 battery cell producer for some time, but bear in mind, CATL is also pretty much Tesla too. And remember that Tesla also needs so many fewer cells in their vehicles than the competition, so even if it meant Tesla had 50% of the global cell supply, they might still be able to get more like 65% of the EV market share, as long as we exclude all the Chinese death traps. Soon we'll see what this 5-year or so delay has been for, and just how rapidly Tesla can ramp up when third parties are not involved or pandemics get in the way. So honestly, forget about the competition. It wouldn't even matter if BYD made more EVs than Tesla, considering Tesla still don't make their own cell. And as for the car factories, they can be up and running within a year, and minimal cost anyway. They are nothing to be concerned about. It's still all about the batteries. Thanks for listening. Please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter and talk to me on Patreon.